Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager. Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 in another part of our series with Spurs, where we are continuing to march towards a potential Premier League title in our first season in the Premier League as manager. Now, last time we left off, we'd beaten Chelsea by 1-0 in the league. Chelsea, the three-time champions of England and reigning champions as well. And then we managed to scrape past Manchester City in the EFL Cup quarter-final. Now, we've had a lot of games since then, so we'll go through them now. We'll go up to January, then we'll talk about what happened in the transfer window, and then finish off the rest of these games before a couple of big matches. First against Ajax in the knockout stages of the Champions League, going back to the Johan Cruyff Arena where we left as European champions. And then we've got an EFL Cup final against Liverpool, so a lot to look forward to today. But our first game after we left off last time was a reasonably comfortable 4-1 win against Bournemouth. Now, a lot has happened since the last time we had an episode on this series. But first off, Dele Alli and Greenwood doing a lot of 1-2s before Dele smashed it into the top corner for 1-0. He then put a ball in which Bellingham headed home comfortably for 2-0. And Bere from the corner spot put it in. Ruben nearly got the goal, but it was Mason Greenwood who finished it off. Bournemouth did get one back 12 minutes from time. Bogle pulling it back to Dominic Solanke, still at Bournemouth, and scoring goals apparently. David Neres then with a late corner which Robinson, the academy graduate, nodded into the back of the net for 4-1. We then had another Manchester City game, which was quite a graft, really, this game. We did manage to see it out. Manchester City really struggled to get a good flow in this game, but to start off with, Greenwood with a sensational free kick before Manchester City with Dembele on the outside found Arthur, and Lautaro Martinez never misses from that sort of range. That made it 1-1. Harry Kane with a penalty did make it 2-1 to us, and then 15 minutes from time Neres put the corner in and it just ricocheted around before Kane lashed in the ball inside the 6-yard box. They got one back in the 93rd minute, but too late to do anything else really. De Bruyne with the little finish to 3-2, but not really under too much pressure in that game. Man City just weren't quite good enough to overcome us even in their own backyard. Next up we took on Everton, and this game did end up being a comfortable victory for us. Xerxes back to Lazala, ball played over to Kenne, slipped through, and Xerxes finished it off to make it 1-0. We then had a corner which Bellingham took, Ruben Dias with the header, Kane at the back stick got the goal I think, and then Isaac had a penalty for Everton which they did manage to score before late on, ball goes in and Ruben Dias makes sure of the 3 points for us for a 3-1 victory. We then had our second match against Arsenal. Having won the first one, I'm keen to keep up a really good record against my club's rivals and win a lot of these games, and we did manage to do that today, but it came at a really, really heavy price. So first off, Sessegnon with the ball in, and Bere with the finish for 1-0. And then Ambere again with the corner, which Robinson finished, the academy graduate scoring against the rivals 2-1. Guimaraes got one back for Arsenal from the penalty spot, but they couldn't come back. But the real blow was that we lost Xerxes for 7 months, so he won't be back until next season. And we also lost Harry Kane for about 3 months. So two major losses there against Arsenal on the opening day of the transfer window. But if we have a look at the transfers that happened since, interestingly, quite a few players going out. Might be better to sort these by date, actually. So if we start off at the beginning, Davinson Sanchez, a pre-arranged transfer, £27 million for him. Felt like daylight robbery to me. He's not that great in the game. Hadn't played that much for us. It just felt like easy money. Dave Connor, youngster, going. Axel Foley refused to sign a new contract, the youngster. So he went off, now on loan at Burnley. Good for him. Ryan Sessegnon, a £42 million bid from Bayern Munich. Absolutely crazy money for a player who wasn't good enough to be my left back. He was a backup to Alex Telles, so of course I ripped their hand off when that offer came in. We also had Shay Cooper, a player who was leaving at the end of the season, didn't want a new contract, so he went. And then we sold Harvey Barnes for £40 million. We could have got a lot more for him. We had some bids of up to £70 million for him, but he didn't want to join those clubs. He had his heart set on PSG, so we had to let him go for a cut price, £40 million. He wasn't playing for me, and £40 million cash is pretty nice. And then the most surprising one was Ben Robinson, leaving for £55 million, which is just absolutely silly money. He's a decent player, but he's not that good. It's a shame to let an academy graduate go, and he's going to rot away at Man City. He won't play, he won't develop, and he won't get anything out of it. But £55 million. They came in with a £25 million offer, and I put £30 million on it, and they just accepted it straight away. So that was just easy cash, really. But we have had quite a few players join the club as well, just to try and keep us ticking over. Some of them are just cover for players we've lost. We've also had a major injury crisis in addition to Kane and Xerxes. Lots of players. We've had about 8 players out consistently since the January transfer window opened. So the first one was Mathias Henrique, our former Barcelona player that we signed for Barcelona. He never played that much for me, but when he did play, he was very good. He's come in as a bit of a rotation option in midfield. I'm not expecting him to stay particularly long, but I thought he'd be a really good signing. We also brought Anthony back. He is cover for some of the injured strikers. Obviously, he can play the false 9 role, which is really helpful. He's already scored a couple of goals for us as well in the Premier League. And for £35 million, I feel like we'll turn a good profit on him. If he can get enough game time. Jeremy Frimpong, 24-year-old Dutchman, signed from Ajax, not one of my former players. But I brought him in just as cover, really. I don't expect him to actually play, but if we continue to have injury problems, he's going to be a good signing. And Kalidou Koulibaly was brought in because he's still a very good player. He's had injury problems since he joined as well. 1-year contract for £3 million. He'll do absolutely fine in central defence, but again, is just a cover option. But it means we've spent nearly £500 million on players in our first season at Spurs, which is absolutely crazy money. But it's allowed us to keep this run going. I mean, we've only had 3 defeats since I took over the club, which is sensational. We've had a continued good run in all competitions, still in all competitions, and we're now into the end of February, so it's really impressive what we've managed to do with that £500 million. But against Huddersfield, we had a totally rotated team. Shackleton with the ball out wide to David Neres, he dinked it across, and Troy Parrott, the oft forgotten Tottenham striker who had to come in and cover for Kane and Xerxes, he got us off the mark. Ryan Sessegnon, before leaving, also managed to get that goal, which was nice. Good way to depart the club by scoring a goal. So 2-0 over Huddersfield, no major concerns. We then took on Newcastle. I was confident we'd win this game, so I thought I'd just go for it, and then if we lost, we could always show the second semi-final. But as it turned out, we won quite comfortably. Lorenzo with the ball forward. Andre, who's had a bit more game time due to the injuries, put the ball across, and Dele Alli scored. Dele's also had a bit more game time because of injuries to players like David Neres has been injured, Harvey Barnes had an injury and then got sold. Quite a few players really on that left flank getting injured. Dele Alli's had plenty of game time. Jude Bellingham then with a stunning finish from the corner for 2-1. And Bere, who's been our best player by far since Kane got injured, set up Greenwood for a clever little finish there. Greenwood as well finding Kene, and Bere back to Kene. Dele Alli on that left flank cut inside and got the finish, his 4th of the game. But then a little comeback from Newcastle. Luis Diaz with the header made it 4-2. And they also had a goal ruled out for offside as well, so they came very close to turning this one around. And then we had an absolutely crazy game against Leicester. Quite a few players injured. We had 2 red cards, Calabria and Dele Alli, both getting sent off. Dele Alli just after half time. But first off, Leicester score a penalty, Suso with the goal. We also lost Onana to the Africa Cup of Nations at this point. Dele Alli responds by scoring a penalty, but then Leicester really come out as Gonzalez on the attack, laying it off for Husai, scores a stunner in that top near post corner. Ali then gets sent off with us 2-1 down, but that doesn't stop us from coming back again. And Bere charging into the box, beautiful finish from him. He is so good to make it 2-2. But another penalty for Leicester made it 3-2. and then they scored a fourth just 2 minutes later. Gonzalez to Cherki came out to Zagre, who ran in and finished both their fullbacks scoring in this game, and 4-2. 20 minutes to go, we're down to 10 men, we're down by 2 goals, but Andre steals the ball, charges through and leathers it into the top corner for 4-3, and then 4 minutes later, Bellingham beats the midfielder, plays it over the top, keeper absolutely screws up, Andre with the finish for 4-4. We then had Calabria sent off in the 93rd minute to finish with 9 men, but a fantastic comeback to get a point in that game. Followed up by a disappointing draw with Watford as well, so 4 drop points across those 2 games was really a shame. And going into the City game, I was worried we could drop 7 over 3 matches, but fortunately we did manage to win this game. It was a hard fought win with so many players out with injury. Tellez with the long throw, Greenwood with the finish, and then Ndombele out to Calabria from the other flank, pulls it back to Ndombele, and Ambere just slams it past the keeper for 2-0. They do manage to get one back, all the goals coming in a 10-minute period. Sterling attacking down the right, put it inside, and Bawadu got one back, and that was pretty much the game there. We managed to see it out and get the 3 points. We then had Newcastle again, this time in the FA Cup. Reasonably comfortable win, never really under threat, but we started to really see our goals dry up without Kane. It really was difficult because Kane's got 20 odd goals already this season before he got injured on the first day of January, but Alex Tellez with the only goal in that game to give us a 1-0 win. And then we made it into the EFL Cup semi-final with a comfortable 2-0 win away from home against Newcastle, adding to that 4-2 win at home, so 6-2 on aggregate. This one, Ndombele with the ball, edge of the area, pulls it across, and Bellingham's header planted in the far post. Very nice header. Anthony then with a corner, having joined the club, comes back to him, he whips it across, and then Ndombele cuts inside and beats the keeper at his near post for 2-0. So we're into the EFL Cup semi-final, but we still have plenty of work to do in the Premier League, starting off with a game at home against Sheffield United, where Anthony had to come on. No, Anthony didn't have to come on in this one, but Anthony scores his first goal for the club in the first half, and then Andre scoring late in the second. But Anthony here, ball just rolls through to him, and he has a pretty much open goal to get off the mark for Spurs. And then 10 minutes to go, Bellingham through Andre gets there ahead of the keeper and makes it 2-0 for a comfortable victory. Derby County as well, another very, very comfortable team. They are rooted at the bottom of the table in 20th place. They're not likely to move off that and had one shot the entire game, but Greenwood and Anthony with the goals. Bellingham played it down the line, and Berry gets to it, whips it across, and Greenwood with a near post finish. And then Anthony, who I think came on in the first half in this game, does manage to get second. Gonçalves on the left back position puts it in, and Anthony, very similar to his first goal, does make it 2-0. We then beat Dinamo Kiev 3-0 in a friendly before a 2-2 frustrating draw against Bournemouth in our latest Premier League game. Yet more dropped points. We keep doing well against the teams around us, but whenever we take on teams like this, there's always a risk that we're just going to drop random points. Wilson with a very good finish there for 1-0. Chukwueze's corner headed in by Ruben Dias to bring us back on level terms, but again Bournemouth managed to take the lead, and it's unacceptable really. Wilson played in behind, defenders switched off, and Wilson giving them their lead for the second time. But luckily 5 minutes from time, Amberi with a beautiful run didn't get the reward, but Greenwood did, and we finished off 2-2. So if we look at this Premier League table, you'll see we are top of the Premier League. We also have the best goal difference in the league, but 66 points. We're only 3 points clear of Manchester United, Chelsea 4 points behind, Liverpool 10 points behind, Arsenal 14. So we're pretty much guaranteed Champions League football, but the question is, can we see out the last 11 matches with our 3-point lead at the top of the table? But to start with, we've got to go to Ajax, who are still top of the Eredivisie. They've won every season since I took over the club in this first season. Here. When I took over, they were already champions when I took over. I took over here, won 3 titles, they got 2 more, and they're on track for yet another 25 games, 25 wins. That's a better record than I could ever manage. That's sensational by Frank de Boer, and they're still going. Bruno Fernandes, the top goal scorer in the league, with 14. But it's going to be really interesting taking Ajax on and seeing if we can get the win today. We've got a strong team going out there with Andre and Greenwood up top. Then it's Ali and Ambere on the wings. Kenner and Bellingham in the centre. Bernard, Diaz, Lorenzo and Lusala are the defence. Bernard, another player I've promoted out the academy, or signed for 3.5 million last season, but he's a young player come in to do a job in that left back position alongside Lusala on the right hand side. But you can see we've still got Tellers out injured. Koulibaly's just coming back from an injury. Kane just coming back from injury. We've also got Xerxes injured till the start next season, and then a couple of players unregistered. But still, it's been a slog with so many players out. We should be able to get a win against Ajax today though. So quite a few familiar faces in this Ajax team. They're starting off with Bergwijn up front, the former Spurs player, but Bruno Fernandes, one of our signings and probably their best player in that cam role. They've got Kluivert out on the left wing, Bailey out on the right wing. All three of these former players of mine. Van der Beek has been re-signed by the club and is doing well again in central midfield. Firpo, another of my former signings at left back. Sayuncu, another of my signings. Alvarez was there when I took over, I think, or signed by me, I can't quite remember. So only 4 players in here that weren't signings of mine, which shows how much Frank de Boer has been resting on my legacy. But this is a dangerous Ajax team. They have won every single league match. They've managed to make the knockout stages. This is not going to be easy, but it would be good if we can get the win, because I'm aiming for my 4th straight Champions League title with my 3rd different team. But here's Ambere, loses out to Junior Firpo. Now Van der Beek over the top, looking for Bergwijn. Obviously they've got Gabriel Jesus available as well. Ambere forward. Now Bellingham over the top, cleared away easily. Van der Beek over to Marcos. Now Kluivert attacking down that left flank. He whips it in. Bernard away, but only as far as Leon Bailey. He pulls it back to Wrench. Now Marcus has scored and we're a goal down inside 6 minutes against Ajax. Now today is really about damage limitation. If we can get an away goal, hold them to a draw, we'll have Harry Kane back for the next match away from home, which will give us a lot more firepower and a real chance of overturning potentially even a deficit in this first leg. But we shouldn't be losing to a team like Ajax. We should be winning this game, especially if we want to go really far and potentially win this Champions League title. But here's Marcus with the ball in, and it's off the crossbar. We are really under pressure from Ajax very early on, and it's a big welcome home from the Johan Cruyff Arena here. Van der Beek switches it to the right for Bailey, pulls it back to Marcus, who's pulling the strings today. Bailey with the finish. It's 2-0. They've absolutely gone at us. It's relentless right now, and we're 2-0 down. When I left this Ajax team, they were undoubtedly the greatest team in world football, and they've still got 7/11ths of that team out on the pitch right now. They've lost a huge number of incredibly amazing players. Gravenberch, Bellingham, Barrow, all gone. And even despite that, they seem to be doing extremely well against us. We just need to get some goals. But unfortunately, Andre and Greenwood don't seem to be the kind of players that can really deliver that for us. Bellingham losing against his former club. Diaz losing against his former club. Anana losing against his former club. It's really not a good position we find ourselves in. Potentially going in 2-0 down at half-time. Lorenzo down the line for Ambere. Needs to show what he can do now. He's still charging at the goal, but that is a dreadful finish. So far wide. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but it obviously didn't work out. And right now, we are in extremely difficult trouble. So let's just start this second half, and then we'll make a little change. Dele Alli can come off. We're going to give David Neres a little run out against his former team. But I don't have too many other options, unfortunately. I could bring in Ndombele on for Kenner, and then we'll just have to see how we do. Very early substitutions, but they're definitely needed. Team needs to get creative. We need goals. We need to do something. We really need an away goal against this Ajax team. Abbas out to Alvarez, now Sayuncu. Forward to Marcus. Van der Beek to Bruno Fernandes. He's yet to really flex his muscles in this game. Bailey out to Wrench. Ball runs free to Bailey. He's cut inside, and it's off the post. We get a little reprieve there against a player who again I signed, one of Ajax's first major money signings. I think he cost 70 million pounds when I signed him, but we're in real trouble and I can't see a way out at the moment unless we score soon. Ball goes forward, Fernandes back to Wrench. David Neres tries to tackle but can't get it away. Now Zaracho, another of my former players, comes in. Oh, last ditch defending from the defence there to keep them out. And Neres tries to head it on, but pressure keeps coming from Ajax. They are not letting up whatsoever. Onana out to Lorenzo. Down to Ruben Dias. Over the top. David Neres gets tackled. Wrench. Forward to Zaracho. Van der Beek. Bruno Fernandes out wide to Bailey, who switched flanks. He's cut inside, but Onana makes a good stop. Time very nearly out. I'm going to have to make a change because these strikers are doing absolutely nothing out there. Let's bring Troy Parrott on, see if he can do anything for the last 5 minutes. But I'd be surprised because time is pretty much up and the game is over. A 2-0 defeat on my return to the Ajax arena. I'm going to shout at the team because that was extremely poor and we've given ourselves an enormous job to do in the return match. But hopefully we will have Harry Kane back for that game. We need to refocus. We've got a game against Liverpool in the EFL Cup final up next. Our first chance of silverware in England. We've got to bounce back from a draw and a defeat though to do it. And then we've got a tough run, Chelsea, United and Ajax going up into that next leg. So it's going to be a really tough time. I might do all 3 of those games in the next episode as well, because we won't have too many highlights to catch up on. But this is going to be tough. We're in a really tough run to the end of the season now with the Champions League and Premier League hanging by a thread. We're still in the FA Cup. We've got the EFL Cup final. It's all to play for. So in a random turn of events, the Liverpool final is actually pushed back due to an FA Cup replay for Liverpool in about the 4th round, which meant that we've actually played 3 games since that win against Ajax. The rescheduling happened on the Saturday with the final on the Sunday. It was a very strange thing to read. I was wondering why it disappeared from the top bar, but apparently there was just some sort of replay. I have no idea what happened, but they had to reschedule it anyway due to an FA Cup conflict. So we ended up taking on Middlesbrough and got a nice 3-0 win in this game. And Mbere taking the ball down the right, found Greenwood, came back to Mbere and his ball in, found Anthony for a very good header. His 3rd of the season, I think that is. And then Greenwood robs Davies blind, takes the ball around, Bellingham cutting inside. Very good finisher. You'd expect him to go near post. He goes far and the keeper left rooted in the middle of the goal. Then David Neres on the attack late on, 92nd minute. Ball comes to Greenwood and he makes it 3-0 for a very good win. We then had a first half horror show against Brighton before coming back to score 4 goals in the second half. A very good comeback by the team to get the win. The winning goals actually coming quite late, but Brighton took the lead, Montiel putting it in and Andone with the finish for 1-0. But then immediately in the second half they make a mess of it. Andre steals the ball in the box, finds Greenwood and it's 1-1. It then took to the 70th minute. Ortega giving the ball away, comes down to Lorenzo. Ndombele has a shot. What a shot it is to make it 2-1 and give us the lead back. And then ball over to the far side for Dele Alli, cuts it back across, and Andre on off the bench gets a couple of goals for us. The first one a very good one, and then the second one a throw in. Koulibaly straight to Andre for 4-1 and a very good win. But even better than that, we took on Chelsea. I thought we'd just play this game off camera so we could get through that promised EFL Cup final in this match. And we managed to get the win. Really hard fought but well deserved victory over Chelsea. Lizala with the long throw, Kane with the volley. That's all it took, 22nd minute. And then we kept the clean sheet against Erling Haaland to give us a big win in the Premier League. That means we're now 3 points clear of Manchester United with 9 games to go. Can we get a first title in a first season in the Premier League with Spurs? Absolutely sensational stuff. But we also need to win the EFL Cup or the Carabao Cup. We are taking on Liverpool in this final. Kane is back from injury, which is the best news we've had. He's got 17 in 21 this season in the league, 21 in 25 in all competitions. He's absolutely in form, back with a goal already. Greenwood is playing alongside him with Ali and Anthony on the wings, Kenner and Bellingham in the middle, then Bernard, who is one of the new players coming through at that left back position. He's doing very well, so he's getting to stay there. Lozala on the right as well, Koulibaly and Lorenzo in the middle, and Onana back from the Africa Cup of Nations in goal. So we're really grateful to have Onana back. He is a penalty saving machine. You'd want him in a cup final, and the benefit of this delay is that Kane and Onana have both come back in time, which is absolutely sensational news. But a tough Liverpool team. They've beaten us already this season. Mane, Salah, Elliott and Dybala up top. Firmino on the bench this time. Rice and my former player Gravenberch in midfield. Then Chilwell, Van Dijk, Jones and Gomez. Jones, not familiar with. It seems more like a rotation player in defence. So we do owe Liverpool after the last game. Team reacting well to that idea. So let's go out there and see if we can get a win. This Liverpool team seem tired. Lozala with a long throw early on, cleared out by Virgil, but Kenner over the top. Very close there from Kenner to getting us an early lead. But this Liverpool team does look a little bit tired. A little bit of rotation in there as well. Elliott gives the ball away. Dele Alli is released. He's on the attack. He's got support with Kane trying to do it himself. It's ricocheted away and nobody there to pick it up for us. But Lorenzo doing well in defence to clean up. Onana forward to Bellingham, over the top, and Greenwood is in behind. Greenwood can't do it. Saved by Alisson in the Liverpool goal. But this Liverpool team, they're already dropping below 80%. They are really going to struggle in this second half. There's no doubt about that. So we really just need to make sure we manage the game well. As Rice gives it to Mane. He's one of the players struggling. It goes out to Ben Chilwell. Ball into Salah. And I spoke about managing the game well. We've gone a goal down inside 20 minutes. That is not a good way to start. Mo Salah scored against us in a Premier League defeat earlier this season. And now he's got the lead at Wembley in an EFL Cup final, Carabao Cup final. Salah with the header right at that near post to make it 1-0. Really frustrating to go down like that. But Lozala with a long throw here. Ball goes in. Greenwood's there. But Alisson is not the type of goalkeeper to be easily beaten with one of those long throws into the box. He launches it himself. Now Dybala's got Salah with him. Still going Dybala. Outside to Mane. Lozala with a very, very good tackle. Anthony forward. Kane can head it on, but it's come back to Bellingham instead. He can slip it through to Greenwood. He does. Greenwood one-on-one. Denied by Alisson again. We're going to have to do something much better to beat Alisson here. Anthony with the ball in. Cleared away. Anthony goes after it. Cuts into the middle of the pitch. Still going Anthony. And then the highlight randomly ends. And at the moment, not quite going to plan, I think is the way to summarise this. Team not making the most of this opportunity. And Mane now driving through the middle of us. Finds Elliott. He plays it through, but easy for Onana that. Can we launch a counter-attack? Onana plays it out wide to Anthony. He's got the ball. He's got 3 men over there as well. Kane misses the header. It's come for Elliott. Robbed by Kenner though. And Kenner finds Harry Kane out on the left flank. He holds it up. It's ricocheted out to Bernard. He's clipped the outside of the post. What a way to get your first goal for the club that would have been from the young left back. But we get a throw in now. It's probably... Oh no, it's a free kick and Anthony to take it. Puts it to Kenner and it's hit the woodwork and come back out. Twice now we've hit that right hand post and not managed to get the goal. But we are in control of this game. Unfortunately, we were a goal down, but this Liverpool team tiring rapidly. Bernard with the long throw. Alisson able to come and claim it. Just holding on to it. Launches it forward to Dybala. Ball over the top. Well won by Lorenzo. Now Kenner. Bellingham over the top. Greenwood's trying to get after it. Back to Alisson. Now Virgil van Dijk. Ball played forward. Gomez. Into the middle for Rice. Elliott on the right hand side finds Gomez attacking down that right flank. He's got players in the middle. He goes for it himself. And Onana forced to push that one over the crossbar. We really need to be careful we don't concede a second here before half time as Salah puts it in. Mane driven away from goal. Back to Chilwell. But now Salah blocked well and he's offside. We need to make sure we get through without conceding a second here because this Liverpool team is so tired that in the second half we've got a real opportunity of doing some damage if we can keep our fitness up. I'm going to shout at the team. They seem to enjoy getting shouted at. not quite with that bit of feedback, I don't think. Chilwell with the throw. Now Mane. Out to Chilwell. Comes to Declan Rice. Gravenberch. Ball out wide to Elliott. He whips it in. Lazala away. Jones. Back to Virgil van Dijk. Rice out wide to Elliott again. A second chance for him. He's at the byline. Pulls it back. And it's deflected into the net. A Joe Gomez finish. Extremely poor to concede straight after half time like that. Really, really, really poor. Elliott on that far side. Allowed to do what he wants. Takes it to the byline. Holds it up. Pulls it back. And Gomez. It's a lucky deflection. But I'm not sure the keeper would have saved it had it got past the defender anyway. It's a bit unlucky. But there's also just poor defensive work in the build up to that goal. And we have got it all to do now in this second half. The team do seem up for it. But maybe they just don't have the ability. It does seem like a real problem in some of these cup competitions. We seem to be alright in the league, but in the cup, not quite got the mentality to win a knockout game. Here's Bellingham on the attack. Pushes it outright to Anthony. He's got 4 in the box. Lazala can try. Instead he goes short to Anthony. Ball across. Kane. How is Becker saving? Alisson Becker is saving absolutely everything at the moment. And we are not doing well. Lazala can maybe come off if we move Koulibaly out wide. No, we've got nobody that can move out there. No central defenders. So instead, let's maybe look at the strikers. Greenwood's not had the best game. Let's bring Andre on. Anthony with a corner. Comes out to Greenwood. Now Bellingham. Takes it to the right flank. Pulls it back to Koulibaly. Ball over to Kenner on the far side. He's got plenty of players in there. He goes himself, but it's straight at Alisson in goal. Bernard not having a good time at left back. We could bring him off for Gonzalez. 20 minutes to go. We've got a lot of work to do here in the last 20 minutes if we're going to save this game. It doesn't look very likely right now. 10 minutes to go. Can we get something going? I don't know what's wrong with this team. 5 minutes, I think that's pretty much it. All over now. There's no point making the third substitution. The game is gone, and I am extremely disappointed with that result. Look how tired this Liverpool team is. They get to lift the trophy. Second time we've been beaten 2-0 by Liverpool. They're not even doing that well. They're down in 5th in the Premier League at the moment. But for some reason they seem able to absolutely tear us apart. And there's nothing we can do. I am extremely disappointed at that, I have to say. And now we have to go and try and turn around a Champions League knockout tie, which is going to be extremely difficult to do. But what we'll do is actually I might just play that game in this episode, because then we have a nice long run of potential games until maybe the end of the season if we get knocked out of these two competitions. So I'm pretty sure we'll get past Watford. I'm not worried about that. So let's take on Ajax now, and then we can worry about the FA Cup quarter and semi-final potentially in the next episode. Well, we really do need to dust ourselves down and pick ourselves back up for this match against Ajax. The team's really tired. We've played a lot of games in very, very quick succession. But there's not a huge amount of options in terms of switching people around at the moment. I could maybe bring Mathias Henrique in. In fact, I think I will. It's a really tough one to call. Maybe take Dele Alli out for David Neres as well. I think Andre is going to have to start up top. It's annoying that Ambere is injured because it means Greenwood has to move to the right. And we're also missing one of our best players. But otherwise, we're going to play with Kane and Andre up top, David Neres and Greenwood on the flanks, with Mathias Henrique and Ndombele in the centre. Then Bernard, Diaz, Lorenzo and Koulibaly in defence with Onana in goal. I was not expecting to have to play a 33-year-old Koulibaly at right wing back when I took on this Spurs job, but that's where we've ended up. They've brought Gabriel Jesus back up top with his 18 goals in 31 games. Zaracho joins Marcus Antonio in the centre. He looks like a fantastic player. Where did they find him? £20 million from Shakhtar. He is fantastic and possibly someone I might need to raid in the near future. Firpo, Sayunshu, Torres, Alvarez are my back four with Abbas in goal. We do owe Ajax. We need to go out there. We have to win this game. I think we really need to score 4 goals because I think this Ajax team are likely to score today. So we would need to get 4 in that case. We need at least 3. Well, at least 2 to force extra time and potentially penalties, but really we need 3. And Ajax have got the first chance. Junior Firpo forward. Across to Marcos. Sayuncu back to Abbas in goal. They move it to the other flank. Bailey. Good tackle by Henrique. Well, okay tackle by Henrique. He didn't actually recover the ball. Pau Torres. Sayuncu back to Abbas. Over the top. Cut out by Ndombele. Greenwood attacking down the right flank. A bit more aggression in our run. Comes out to Harry Kane. Now David Neres denied by Abbas. On the line. A very good save. But good sign from David Neres there as the ball's cleared away. He's got something to prove here. Both to the Tottenham fans and against Ajax. The club he chose to leave. Neres in and Greenwood's put it wide. But Neres looks extremely dangerous on that far side. Bernard forward to Neres again. Cutting inside, trying to make things happen. Kane inside to Ndombele. He goes out wide, looks for Neres but can't quite find him. Now Gabriel Jesus on the attack. Ball over, Lorenzo with a good header. Kane down the line for Andre. He's got support with him, Greenwood. It's gone back, Lorenzo out wide. And here is Koulibaly into Harry Kane. And Koulibaly, playing at right wing back, has got an assist here in the Champions League knockout stages, picking out Harry Kane for his 22nd goal of the season. And that's a nice early goal for us. It gives us real hope in this tie. A very good header from Kane there. Too powerful for the keeper to stop it. And we do now have the lead on the night. We need to score another couple really though. Marcos with the ball. Back to Sayuncu. Played forward to Bruno Fernandes. Pau Torres out wide to Bailey. Bernard misses a tackle there. Bailey just sprints past him. And he's got past another Bailey. But Onana denies his former teammate at the last second. Andre playing with a knock at the moment, which isn't great. He might need to come off. But I don't really have options. Neres puts it in. It's off the bar from Andre. Very close there. He's offside as well. But I'm not sure who to bring on. I don't really want to bring Troy Parrott on. I could maybe look if we've got a right midfield option. And Ndombele runs past the two Ajax players. He's got options. He finds Greenwood in a good position. He takes it round the defender. Looks for David Neres, who's looked really dangerous today. And David Neres gets his 4th goal for Spurs since joining us. A very good header there. Starting to get back to his best, potentially. He was such a good player at Ajax. And he's come back to haunt them here, giving us our 2nd goal. A very good header. And it is now all square on aggregate. Obviously, Ajax have the benefit of away goals, so we really need to try and get a couple more in the second half to take control of this tie and give us an insurance. But here's Koulibaly, long throw goes in, Kane's in there, it comes out to Ndombele. Koulibaly again, blocked off, but Greenwood back out to Koulibaly, over to Kane, comes out to Mathias Henrique. Ndombele to Koulibaly, beats the defender. Koulibaly puts it across. Greenwood again off the post and away, and that was the chance. So close to giving us the 3rd goal there, Greenwood. But I am very happy with the way the team have played there. A very good first half. We've taken control of the game. We've put ourselves back in charge of our own destiny now. And Greenwood attacking down the right flank early in the second half, trying to cause damage. He's looked dangerous. He puts it in. Harry Kane is there. And they have to clear it away. Another save from the goalkeeper. And David Neres' corner cleared away as well. Neres is still there. Puts it in. Ruben Dias tipped over the top by Abbas. Neres and Dias nearly combining against their former club. And Ajax are under some pretty intense pressure right now. We might just need to make a change with Andre out injured. Who do we have on the right hand side? Chukwueze can definitely come on for Andre. That allows Greenwood to move up top as well. We could look to take off Koulibaly at the right back position. Neres' corner over the top by Lorenzo. Going to take Koulibaly off because he is on a yellow card and he is playing out of position. Calabria is a natural fullback that we can bring on as an option. Don't have too many other options. Greenwood now with a big knock. Might need to come off. He's just looking to recover. He's going to have to come off. He is too injured to carry on, Greenwood. And I think what I'm going to do is actually put Dele Alli up there in the false 9 role and move Harry Kane into the advanced forward role and see what that does for us. in the last 15 minutes. Calabria with a throw. We're heading to extra time. Dele Alli's in there. Chukwueze into Kane. And Harry Kane has done it. He is back from injury at just the right time. And we've managed to come back from losing the first leg 2-0 away from home to take a 3-0 lead here at home with 13 minutes to go. Harry Kane on the volley. Calabria and Chukwueze, the substitutes, coming back to help Harry Kane score. Neres puts it in. It's over the top by Ruben Dias. 10 minutes to see out as Abbas hits his forward to Pau Torres. Now Marcus, forward to Bruno Fernandes. This Ajax team would be shell-shocked at this point, but they're still dangerous. Alvarez coming down the right. Tackled by Bernard, the youngster doing really well. Bernard over to Ruben Dias. Plays it back to Onana. Now Lorenzo has missed it. He cleans up though, Lorenzo. Looking out left, but can't find his man. Marcos gives it away to Dele Alli. He's charging forward. He's got Harry Kane in support. Dele Alli tries to do it himself. And Abbas with the save. But now a throw from Calabria in towards Kane. And I think that was an overhead kick from Harry Kane, going for the hat-trick here that would have made sure we'd be in the next round. Abbas out to Pau Torres. Over the top this time. Comes to Jesus. Not long to go, but if we concede, we will probably get knocked out. Pau Torres all the way back to Abbas. Not long left. Sayuncu out wide to Junior. Taylor plays it out to Junior again. Over the top for Bergwijn. He's got options. He's cut inside and he's missed the target. That little pause there on the screen just made me think he'd found the back of the net. Time nearly running out, but there are so many highlights. Jesus gives it away to Lorenzo. Calabria inside to Mathias Henrique, who's been solid today. Back to Onana. Ball goes out left this time. Nice confident passing play by the team. David Neres coming forward. He's got options. He's taken it down the left flank. Big tackle. Neres in. Kane is there. And Harry Kane has done it. He's got the hat-trick. He is guaranteed our place in the next round. He's turned this tie around with a hat-trick. The club captain doing his job beautifully. And David Neres, what a performance from him today against his former team. Announcing himself as a proper Spurs player. And that's a fantastic volley from Harry Kane at the far post to guarantee us the victory and put ourselves into the quarter-final of the Champions League. What a brilliant way to respond from that Liverpool defeat. A 4-0 victory over our former team Ajax to knock them out of the Champions League. A big win, a big redemption for us. And we have made it through. Hell of a game between PSG and Real Madrid as well. But that is absolutely sensational that we've managed to do that. Kane with the hat-trick. What a player. He's 31, but he's still absolutely sensational with that 19 finishing. And next up, we probably won't show the quarterfinal against Watford. We'll probably go straight to the quarterfinals in the next episode. So do drop a like down below if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, see ya.